Echo Lima 87. This is 100 watts and a wire.
Well, hello and welcome to 100 Watts and a Wire. It's Christian, episode number 421. Can you believe it, y'all? Some of you have been here from the beginning. Some of you have just found us, and either way, welcome to it. Everybody's welcome here. 100 watts, low power, 1500 watts. Everybody's welcome. It's how we mostly start out. Many of us have a 100 watt rig, and we throw a line up, a wire, if you will, over a tree, and boom. We are now ham radio operators, so hence the name 100 watts and a wire. My name is Christian. My call sign is Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel, K0 STH. And no, I am not in Zero Land at the moment. Who's to say what tomorrow will bring, or a year or two down the line? Still have a homestead in Missouri, but now living in Sarasota, Florida, making things happen down here. At least trying to. Want to say hello to all of our friends on YouTube. We're doing some YouTube stuff now, which everybody there is welcome. I have done stuff in the past, and it was a complete mind F. And in the end, you just have to, it's always family first, and, I feel like I needed to be a little more centralized in my work. Audio first. Took a break from it. Said, I do like the live stream. So YouTube is back in the saddle. It's just different now because it's new again. Ish. If you like to follow live streams, you could find us over there. We are also still kicking it now since 2015 on Facebook. Love to have you there. Over 15,000 ham radio operators and radio enthusiasts are there sharing conversations and the like. Love to have you if you'd like to be there. We're also on Discord. Many people say, what is the Discord, man? Isn't that, what is it, huh? Well, it's just another place for us to be. Some people don't like YouTube, number one. They don't like Facebook. They despise the tickety-talk. Although we're in all three places, your boy is trying to meet you wherever you are. And that's how I do's it. See? Now, I am starting to feel that TikTok has a purpose. I just don't know if it's a ham radio purpose. I think a lot of ham radio operators feel that there's a lot of spying going on with China, and it's not meant to be for them, and they don't want to be there. But some people, maybe it's you, not into Google either, or Facebook. I'm just trying to meet you where you are. I'm also on Twitter. But mostly I would enjoy it if you listen to the podcast from time to time whenever you're needing a soothing voice while you're taking a shower or perhaps a dump, or driving long distances and need to fill some space with time. I'm down for that. Just don't tell me what you're thinking about while you're showering, while you're taking a dump. I don't want to know what you're thinking about me when you're driving either. That's not my business. None of that is my business. But I appreciate you. So what's going on down here in sunny Florida? It is doing more of the same. I guess the one thing I am not having a challenge with, it's 87 degrees. I'm recording this on Saturday, November the 11th. People are talking about Thanksgiving, and I'm like, huh? It feels like June or July. When it's 87 degrees, it's not a scorcher, but it's not like cold. And that's new to me. What do I miss? I miss the changing of the leaves. Sorry. I do miss kind of putting the garden to bed, watching the leaves turn, seeing deer run in the field. Those kinds of things are things that I miss, but I am trying to look at this as through the lens of experiencing and learning as much as I can while I am here, for as long as I'm here. The priority is making sure my children are comfortable and thriving settling in. Mama's doing well in the job and all those things. That's priority. And for me, to be able to support and provide as best I can to supplement things while we're here, and I am adjusting as well. Speaking of this, my friends, I am full on into podcasting and podcast coaching, consulting, and even engineering sessions. If you've thought about starting a podcast, or you have a podcast that isn't quite where you'd like it to be, and you'd like somebody with that 2-time Emmy Award-winning background and the major market radio veteran experience to help coach you along and build your podcast up, or whatever you're producing content-wise, reach out and maybe I can help you. I am taking on new clients, as the doctors say. We're taking on new patients. And if you're curious to follow that journey, of course, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Tickety Talk, and plan to do some live streaming and things there for people who, and it's not necessarily about, this is the beauty of podcasting, friends, and I've made the transition from broadcast to podcast. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be doing ham radio. You may have an experience in some other facet, World War II tanks or artillery or stamp collecting. Podcasting helps you build a community around, like we have done here, around amateur radio. Our topic here on this podcast is my brothers and sisters. I will say sisters. It's probably 2 female listeners in our audience. But to make sure we cover everything, amateur radio operators come to find community, to learn from one another, that sort of thing. You can do that through podcasting with whatever your passions are. Flying drones, shooting guns, whatever. If you're interested in that and you want to take your podcast to the next level or even launch one, reach out. We're also brought to you on this podcast by BioNOpower. Thank goodness for our friends at BioNOpower. We appreciate you. I sure do. Helping us keep the podcast and social media tools sharpened and moving so we can have a website. We can have the hosting that we need for the podcast, all the peripherals and the things like that. No one is having fancy dinners and paying bills through this. It is technically a way of keeping our community together, and we've been kicking it since 2015. So if you yourself, let me first talk about BioNOpower. They make the best lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. You must check them out. I use them. It's BIOENNO power.com. And you hear the plane perhaps flying over. Has nothing to do with, it is actually pulling a large banner that says 100 watts in a wire flying over the beach. Of course it doesn't say that. It's a private entity that teaches people how to fly. There's a podcast for you. But if you have and find value in 100 watts in a wire, this community, this podcast, I encourage you to go to buymeacoffee.com/100watts. This is an easy way for you. They don't take that much money of your contribution. Far less, I can tell, from like the Patreons of the world, which provide a decent service. I think they take up to 12% of your contribution, and we need that to go back into the production of the podcast and sustaining our community. So I found buymeacoffee.com. You can buy 1 cup of coffee, 2, whatever you want. You can become a member. Membership has its privileges in the way of you get discounts from participating businesses like BioNOpower, like MFJ, like Radio Waves, like NI4L antennas. You get discounts. Buymeacoffee.com/100watts. And thank you. Look around and see if something works out for you. I put a question out to our family, or the hamily, as I like to call y'all. And did you ever change your call sign? I've been asked, did you ever change your call sign? See, child, are you gonna? technically, I did change my original call sign when I was in Missouri, licensed in Missouri, although I'm not from the state of Missouri. I'm from Maryland, Baltimore specifically. So I was licensed in a zero land, you see, and it was KD0 STH. And after a while, I dropped the D, the Delta, to become K0 STH. So I'd have, and I did, change my call sign. It had nothing to do with geography. But I dropped the D. I was getting advised, and I was like, maybe I'm like a shorter one and all this. And this is good for code. Never picked up the code. I'm a no-code ham, you sons of mama. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. It wasn't required. And had it been, I would have passed the test, but it wasn't, so I didn't. But somebody said, K0 STH, that might not be too bad on the bug. And I was like, bad on the bug. I'm writing it down so I take it home so they didn't think I was an idiot to say a bad on the bug. I know a bug on the bed isn't good. Anywho, when I got out here, it's a very active community out here. I should tell you that in Florida. Second most, I don't want to misspeak. I think Florida, Texas, and California hold, let me say it that way, the most licensed ham radio operators. I had a feeling that Florida was number 2, but I'd have to look that up on the ARRL. You can do that while we're talking. But I got asked, are you going to change it to K4? Or? No, sir. No, sir. What I'd like to change is having my ass in the seat a little bit more to make some contacts, and definitely on Sundays when it's time to do our Sunday evening net, 8 o'clock Eastern time, usually 20 and 40 meters. Everybody is welcome there as well. Great group of net control operators. Very patient, very friendly. If you're struggling with anything, have a question, have mic fright, just, reach out and make that contact. But I've been asked, and I wanted to know what our community thought. We'll talk about this a little bit here before we move on. The question was, did you ever change your call sign based on a move to a different state? Why? Why not? I say, please leave your call sign. I'll share it on the next podcast, and here we are, brothers. Dwayne says, I did early in my ham career, moving from 3 to 2 land, but since coming to 4 land, no. Too much water under the bridge, too many know me by my old call, and if I change now, I feel like I lose my history. Very, very interesting, right? I've been K0 STH for over a decade. I don't have interest, and we tie this to our identity, don't we? Leave your comments for me. You can leave your comments Facebook, YouTube, and Discord, or below in the podcast. Reach out. I want to hear what you think about this. Would you lose it? Would you lose your history? It becomes part of who we are, right? No doubt. Thank you, Dwayne. Justin says, nope. I lived in one land for most of my life and earned that one fair and square, even when I chose a vanity call sign after earning my extra. I live and travel mainly out west now, where the one is a bit more distinctive, but I won't change it. He's Kilo Juliet 1 Hotel in Arizona. Thank you. Robert said, my experience was pretty typical. Moved from Colorado. No. That's Colorado in Texas. I'm sorry, Colorado people. Colorado. Dang. I wasn't very active in Colorado. What is it, Colorado or what? For the last few years. I got to look this up. Is this a town, Colorado? Moved from Colorado to Texas. Oh, I see what he did. He put the 2 in there, didn't leave the space, got me all thinking that it was Colorado. Like, what the hell neighborhood is this? I've been to Texas. Let's start again, Robert. My experience was pretty typical. Moved from Colorado to Texas. I wasn't very active in Colorado the last few years, and I wasn't active at all in Texas except VHF until the last few years. Then it seemed natural to want a 5 call sign. I selected K5CQA because it emphasized calling CQ America. I like that. And one of my interests is bringing the continent together. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you, Robert. We appreciate that. Mark says, I didn't. I've had my current call sign since I was a teenager. He didn't leave his call sign, but I know his name. Jim says, I got my first tech license in Seven Land and decided later years that I wanted to have a nod to my native state in my initial. So I found a vanity call sign to fit the bill. Kilo 6, Juliet Romeo Tango. James says, no, I passed my tech in California, but knew we would be in 5 land and asked for a 5 call. I kind of like my call, KG5 LTL, but in a couple of years, I will have a hard decision to make. My dad's call, Whiskey 2 November Zulu Hotel. Zulio, that's a good one. Whiskey 2 November Zulu Hotel, as he is 98. Whether he's going to take that or not. Interesting. Lee Allen says nope. James, I've only known one to change when he moved from Oklahoma to Nebraska. I don't think it matters much with the internet and our fingers. It's easy enough to see where the call is from. I think it's a little dumb when an extra gets a call from a different zone just so they can get a 4-character call sign. All right, there's an opinion, and everybody's welcome to it, James. Thank you. Butch says nope. Got November 5 Sierra Mike Quebec in LA and moved to VA. And he still has it. Why should I change a perfect call? Need 5 6-meter quads or needing 5 sweet Mexican queens? Very nice. Richard says, got my call in 1970 when I upgraded from novice to tech. A few years later, after college, upgraded to advanced and finally to extra. Still have the old tech call, WB2 PMC. A little long in contest or pileups, but no big deal. It's me. Robert. When I relocated from Pennsylvania to Alaska in 2000, the FCC sent me a notice of a change when I updated my address. I went from November 2 Whiskey Oscar United to Kilo Lima 0 Yankee November, and my wife went from November 2 Whiskey Tango Alpha to Kilo Lima 0 Yankee Quebec. I like them all. I like that. I like all this. I like call signs. I like call signs. They do take root in us, I believe. Frank says, I was licensed as a novice in 1968. Now an extra. I kept my call, though it's a bit awkward for some, having moved from Ohio to Florida 29 years ago. He's Whiskey Bravo 8, Echo November Sierra. Fred says, 2 reasons I changed my call. First, I changed KA2WKA to K2WKA because the KA2 sounded like K8 on Meteor Scatter. Second, when I became an extra, he went from K2WKA to K2XK. Damn, sorry. I busted it. Sorry, Fred. He went from Kilo 2 Whiskey, Kilo Alpha to November 2 X-Ray Kilo. Jeremy said, I did. Got a 1x2 call and decided to get a number to match my call area as opposed to my old call sign that was not. Mikey, Kilo Delta 0 Delta Charlie Zulu. Had the call sign since I got licensed 15 years ago, and it's like my name. It seems weird to use a different call sign. Couple more, friends. And you're welcome to go and read these on our Facebook group. We will admit you in. Just come in and say, hey, I'm not an Alpha Hotel. I will treat people with respect and be cool. Be cool, man. That's the only rule. Be cool. And you can read through these on Facebook and even add your comment as a listener to the podcast. Appreciate it. Steve said, I changed my call from Kilo Echo 4 Juliet Tango Hotel to November 4 Juliet Tango Hotel after I got my licensed general. Charles said, nope. I've had WB3JOK since first license as a novice in 1976 while living in Maryland. Hey now. Hey, brother. Good to see you.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Well, you've got to highlight the Marylanders. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Jay moves from New Jersey to Colorado in 2022. Kept my call sign. Carson had my original for the first 6 months. He was Kilo Charlie 0 Sierra Delta Echo. When I called the FCC computerized system to find out what my call was, I couldn't understand the non-phonetic answer. Tried 3 times. Finally called a real person at the ARRL who was kind enough to give it to me phonetically. He got a chuckle out of it. Comes another plane. Somebody's making money today flying people around, trying to learn how to get their license as a pilot. Happens a lot around here, but we're going to keep it going because it's not going to bother us. Safe landings, friend. Don says, born in W6, still a W6, will likely die a W6. Now that sounds like a John Mellencamp song, doesn't it? Think about that. Patrick says, nope, lived in Zero Land for 20 years, had no plans of coming back to 2 Land, but here I am. How about a little loyalty, fella? Yeah, I'm going to become a Rays fan too. It would be like changing your name to Devil Kudnick just because you live in Florida, hell. Woo! Tell him, Rick. Woo! That ain't right. That ain't right, Patrick. Into the penalty box for you on the behalf of all the listeners who are from the great state of Florida, which you've dubbed hell, over in the corner. Plus, you spell my name wrong. I don't like that. Patrick. DJ says, I hate working a station, KL7 or KH6, and they're somewhere stateside. Contesting, I prefer to have my state prefix. Lewis says, yes, I changed when I moved to Georgia. November Yankee 4 Foxtrot from New York. November 2 X-Ray Foxtrot Yankee. I was working some local 10 meters one night when someone heard my call and the band erupted, thinking there was a band opening. False alarm. Just also a lot of work. Weak signal, 6 meter. And it helps prevent confusion when the band is open. 2 more and then we will move on. I'll let you go about your life and your day because I appreciate you and your time. Mike says, I've been a ham since 1958. Got a vanity call when they came out. He's Whiskey 7 Alpha Sierra Foxtrot. And Frank says, I kept mine. It's a badge of honor and I'm proud of it. He's Kilo Charlie 9 India Lima Zulu. And there you have it, friends. That is our question I posed for this week. I appreciate everybody for chiming in and letting me know what you think. I know the old timers, with respect to our elders, because I think they are the kingpins of, I won't say that. Yeah, I can say the kingpins, right? That's what kind of holds things together a bit. And our mentors. And out of respect for them, I know in the early days, when they had worked their way up to get their beams and all those things, they liked a K0STH to be somewhere in the middle of the country. They'd swing their big ass beams.
Jesus Christ.
Not like that, kid. Take it easy. And if I happen to not be there and I be in the southeast like I am today, the old guys, or we respect, might not appreciate that, you see. And I understand. But like someone mentioned, I mean, you might have to look it up. Everything's digital right now, and not everybody's digital. But, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to change. Don't go changing. There's a New Jersey boy there for you right there. All right, my brothers and sisters, please subscribe to the podcast. Find us on Discord, YouTube, and Facebook. We're also on TikTok for now. I don't know about the tickety-tock. I think most of our friends here don't trust it. And I understand. No worries on that. Good luck the rest of the way. And by all means, if you have a question, reach out and drop me a line and let me know. But by all means, please try and stay above the noise. 7-3.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsinaWire.com.